Greetings, seekers of wisdom and lovers of shadows. Let us wander together into the primordial mists of time, where gods and monsters are born from the womb of chaos, and where the boundaries between creation and destruction blur. Today, we unravel the tale of Echidna, the mother of all monsters, a being who straddles the line between myth and metaphor, flesh and philosophy. Her story is not merely one of fangs and fury, but a mirror held to the human soul, reflecting our deepest fears and the untamed wilderness within. The birth of chaos incarnate. Echidna's origins are as murky as the abyss from which she crawled. To understand her, we must first peer into the churning void of Greek cosmogony. Before the reign of Zeus, before even the Titans, there was chaos, the gaping maw of nothingness. From it emerged the primordial deities: Gaia, Earth; Tartarus, the underworld; Eros, desire; and Nyx, night. But chaos never truly died. It merely took new forms. Echidna, in most accounts, was born of Phorcys and Illiquid, two ancient sea deities whose domain was the hidden horrors of the deep. Phorcys, the old man of the sea, and Ceto, whose name means sea monster, were siblings and consorts, embodiments of the ocean's unknowable menace. Their children, Echidna, her sister the Gorgons, the Grey, and the Draken Ladon, were nightmares given flesh. Yet Echidna stood apart. She was no mindless beast. Described as half-radiant nymph, half-monstrous serpent, Echidna possessed a chilling duality, a face of haunting beauty atop a coiled, scaleless body that slithered across the earth. Her eyes, it was said, held the cold fire of stars, and her voice could lull even gods into a trance. But her true power lay in her womb, a crucible of chaos, capable of birthing abominations that would haunt the world. A lesser-known truth, some obscure hymns suggest, Echidna was not born of the sea, but of Tartarus itself, the pit of punishment beneath, Hades. In this version, she is the daughter of Tartarus and Gaia, making her a sibling to Typhon, the storm giant. This lineage binds her not to the sea's caprice, but to the earth's molten core and the screams of the damned. The union of storm and serpent. If Echidna was chaos given form, her consort, Typhon, was its fury unleashed. Typhon, born of Gaia's wrath to overthrow Zeus, was a tempest in the shape of a man. 100 dragon heads crowned his shoulders. His legs were vipers, and his wings blotted out the sun. When he roared, volcanoes erupted. When he wept, hurricanes drowned cities. Their meeting was inevitable. Two forces of primordial discord drawn together like magnets in a cave deep within the Arima mountains, or perhaps beneath Mount Etna's fiery peaks, depending on the teller. Echidna and Typhon entwined. Their union was less a dual marriage than a cosmic collision, a storm crashing into a whirlpool. From this violent love sprang a brood of legends: a Kerberos, the three-headed hound who guards the gates of Hades, forever snarling at the souls of the dead; the Hydra, the many-headed serpent of Lerna, whose venom could rot the world and whose regeneration made it undying; the Chimera, a lion-goat-serpent hybrid, its breath a plume of flame, its roar a death knell; on the Nemean lion, a beast invulnerable to mortal weapons, its golden fur impervious to blade or arrow; with the Sphinx, the Riddler of Thebes, whose intellect devoured prideful men, dull Ladon; the dragon coiled around the garden of the Hesperides, protector of the golden apples, the Orthrus; the two-headed hound who guarded Geryon's cattle, slain by Heracles. Each child was a masterpiece of terror, designed to test heroes, humble kings, and remind humanity of its fragility. Yet Echidna's role was not merely to spawn monsters. She was their nurturer, their first teacher. In the darkness of her cave, she whispered secrets to her offspring: how to harness fear, how to corrupt courage, how to embody the chaos that defies order. On a hidden detail, a fragment from the lost epic Titanomachy claims, Echidna also mothered Scylla-e, the six-headed sea monster of the Strait of Messina. This ties her not only to land and underworld, but to the sea's merciless depths, a trinity of terror. The philosopher's lens. Echidna as the shadow of civilization. Why does Echidna fascinate us? She is no mere villainess. In her, we see the archetype of the untamed feminine. 1. The wildness that civilization strives to suppress. Her children are not random horrors. Each represents a facet of human anxiety. Cerberus. Fear of death and the unknown beyond. Suernidrano. The futility of fighting a problem that grows worse with each attempt to solve it. The Sphinx. The terror of intellectual inadequacy, of being unmasked as a fraud. Echidna's cave, often called Arimas, is itself a metaphor. Caves in Greek myth are liminal spaces, thresholds, between the human world and the unconscious. To descend into Echidna's lair is to confront the primal self, the parts of us that refuse to be domesticated. Even her immortality is nuanced. While Typhon was imprisoned beneath Mount Etna, Echidna, according to Hesiod, was allowed to live on by Zeus as a trial for mortals. Here lies a profound truth. Chaos cannot be eradicated. It must persist lest humanity grow complacent. Heroes like Heracles, Perseus, and Bellerophon needed Echidna's children to forge their legacies. Without monsters, there are no heroes. An obscure myth. A Cretan legend tells of Echidna's brief alliance with Demeter. During Demeter's grief over Persephone's abduction, Echidna supposedly sheltered the goddess in her cave, sharing tales of loss and maternal fury. This paints Echidna not as a mindless destroyer, but as a complex figure capable of empathy, or at least understanding. The twilight of the mother of monsters. How does a primordial entity meet her end? The answer is, she doesn't. Not truly. Most accounts claim Echidna was slain in her sleep by Argus Panoptes, the hundred-eyed giant. Yet this feels incongruent. A being of her magnitude reduced to a passive victim. Alternative versions suggest she was betrayed by her own children. Poetic end for a mother of horrors. Others whisper she retreated into Tartarus, becoming one with the darkness, her heartbeat echoing in the roots of volcanoes. But let us consider a deeper reading. Echidna's death is a metaphor for humanity's illusion of control. We slay the Hydra, chain Cerberus, and think ourselves masters of chaos. Yet new monsters always arise. War, plague, existential dread. Echidna, in this light, is eternal. She is the shadow that dances at the edge of the firelight, the whisper in the storm, the unanswerable riddle, a forgotten cult. In the region of Arcadia, archaeologists have found votive offerings to a goddess, dubbed Echidna Potnia. Mistress Echidna. These artifacts, including serpentine figurines and clay tablets invoking her protection, suggest she was once worshipped as a guardian of sacred spaces. A far cry from her monstrous reputation. Echidna's legacy. The monsters within. To conclude her tale is to misunderstand it. Echidna's story has no end, for she is the eternal question. What makes a monster? Is it the creature that lurks in the dark, or the fear that gives it shape? Every hero who faced her children was forced to confront their own darkness. Heracles, cleaning the Augean stables, battled not just filth, but his own pride. Perseus, slaying Medusa, had to avoid his reflection, literally and metaphorically. In modern times, Echidna's essence thrives. She is the antagonist in every superhero saga, the zombie apocalypse in every pandemic thriller, the AI overlord in every tech nightmare. She is the manifestation of our collective anxiety. The other we must vanquish to feel safe. Yet, in vanquishing her, we risk forgetting. Chaos is the womb of creation. Without it, there is no change, no growth, no art. Did this tale of the mother of monsters stir your soul? If so, let the labyrinth of algorithms know. Smash that like button. And subscribe to wander these mythic halls again. Share your thoughts in the easy comments below. Who is your favorite mythological figure? A god? A warrior? A creature like Echidna, who defies simple labels? And remember, the next time you face a seemingly insurmountable challenge, ask yourself, are you the hero or are you the monster? Or perhaps, like Echidna, you are both. Farewell, travelers of thought. Until we meet in the next labyrinth.